19-year-old, working at Wingstop. Dude comes in one day, real skinny, not much older than me. I'm not good at guessing ages, Desu. It looks a little fucking crazy in the eyes, kinda like a tweaker. I will never forget his fucking order. Dude asked for a huge order of lemon pepper wings. Medium rare. Sir, they're chicken wings, not steak. We have to cook them all the way through. He gets instantly annoyed. Says he's going to finish cooking them at home in his fryer, and demands we sell him the wings how he wants them. I call the manager. He refuses at first. This guy keeps insisting. At one point, he even asks if we'll sell him the wings raw. My manager finally gets fed up and just opts just to give him the medium rare wings, like the dude originally asked. Thinking he will finish cooking them at home, I hand the dude the bag of wings and watch him walk out to his car. I see him sitting in the driver's seat, devouring his medium rare wings right there in the parking lot. Fucking what the fuck? Tell my manager as we watch the dude eat the undercooked wings in disbelief. Manager says not to sell to that guy again. Fast forward, same dude comes in the following week. Asks for the same shit and I tell him to get lost. He gets pissed but leaves. Taking trash out later, catch the guy in the dumpster eating old, rotten wings. Chase him off and never see him again. It's not my story, but your post did remind me of it. About 5 or 6 years ago, some friends go camping out by this beach, fucking miles from anywhere, in a really weird location. It's not a typical beach with dunes, maybe some grass and a car park. You have to hike through the woods, then at the end there's a small beach and the sea. Friend go there anyway, talk to them when they get back. Told me around 2 a.m. they were sitting around, drinking and having a smoke, when a well-dressed man comes out walking out of the woods and asks them if they seen an electric rabbit. They're drunk, so they more or less sit there taking the piss out of him, while he's being totally serious about searching for the electric rabbit. Strangely, they were under the influence, but he was completely sober. Know my friends have a history of embellishing stories, especially when they're drunk, so it was more likely to be someone who's homeless or a junkie off his tits. And that's if they saw anyone at all. Can see the incredulity on my face. Then they bamboozle me by showing me a video they took of the dude. Wasn't on very long, couple of minutes maybe, but he was very smartly dressed and speaking 100% coherently, while they ramble on drunk and just laugh at him and ask stupid questions. Although, I suppose, asking if anyone has seen an electric rabbit is equally as much as a stupid question. At the same time, this is X, so maybe it isn't that stupid. Stayed with them for 15 to 20 minutes, then disappeared back into the woods on his search. Be younger me. Come from a family that apparently has a history of the supernatural. Grandfather passes away. Grandparents' home is filled with paintings. Gather with family to mourn him. Get bored, and go upstairs to play with cousins, cause I was a kid. Hey on, ever notice how the paintings smile sometimes? What that JPEG? I decide to ignore her because my cousin is also a dumb kid. Get called downstairs because it's lunchtime. Walk down the stairs and look up. My face when every single painting in the house was looking at me and laughing. Didn't make a sound, but you could see they were laughing. Get shocked and stumble. Roll down the stairs like a dummy. Cry and tell mom the paintings were laughing at me. She gives me a bottle of water and I calm down. Return a few years later to the house to see uncle. My face when he took down all the paintings. They were a hassle to maintain. Sure they were. Going to local community college to use the computer lab. It was around lunchtime, so the traffic was heavy. Go to college and the parking lot is full. Have to park in the back and go through the back door. Get inside. No one at the back reception desk. I figured they're out for lunch. Start walking towards the computer lab, which is at the other side of the college. Notice the hallway is empty. I figure everyone's at the cafeteria. Walk by the cafeteria. Nobody's there. I now notice that it's dead silent inside the college. Walk by the classrooms. They're the kind that have windows so you can see inside them from the hallway and vice versa. Nobody's inside the classrooms. Walk by some windows that overlook the parking lot road. The parking lot is full. The street has cars on them. At first I think traffic is backed up, but then I see all the cars on the road are empty. Start getting weirded out. Check my phone to see if something's going on, but there's no signal. Decide to press onto the computer lab. I had to walk through the entire college and didn't encounter or see anyone. Make it to the computer lab. As soon as I touched the doorknob, there's sound all around me. Normal college sounds, people talking and walking, doors opening and closing, etc. It actually made me jump from how sudden the sound came. Look back where I just walked from, and there's people walking up and down the hallway. The classrooms have people in them now. Walk into the computer lab. The teacher tells me I'm late, and that my spot for the computer is now being used. Look at the clock, and I somehow have lost 40 plus minutes. It took me less than 5 minutes to walk to the computer lab. Too dumbstruck to say anything and just go home. It's been a few years since that happened, and I still don't know what to make of it. I don't use drugs of any kind, and I wasn't sick. Be my friend. Funny guy. Organizes a party. Lights out around 3 in the morning. Is quite good at playing violin. Wants to prank the already sleeping people. Him and another friend take the violin in the living room. It's connected to his room where everyone's tucked up. Play the most vile tune possible. Abrupt and scratchy. Hears some of the guys shitting bricks in his bedroom, followed by piano notes and a flute. Other friend thinks this is part of the prank. My guy's silent, stops playing the violin. Other instruments stop as well. Out of curiosity, starts playing again. The faint sounds of the piano and flute start to pick up. At this point, the other friend was going paranoia mode and opened the door, announcing it's all a prank. They never questioned the other instruments. But my friend knew they had no place in the house. Tells me that sometimes, when he wakes up in the middle of the night to drink water, he will play the violin, only to be greeted by the same piano and flutes. My face when you're now part of a midnight musical troupe. My uncle's story I mentioned in the Appalachia thread, but basically he's convinced he had a run-in with the devil. 1996. My uncle lives in North Carolina at the time, working at an auto garage. Makes good money, working 6 days a week because that's his work ethic. Also, the garage is closed on Sundays. Uncle's coming home from a day at work when he stops when he sees a cherry red Mustang. He guessed it's likely a model from 1965 or 64. Looks like it's having trouble. Driver is this dude he described as looking like he wouldn't look out of place in a golden age of Hollywood film. Clothing wasn't old, looked more business casual. Uncle offers to pop the hood and see if he could figure out the problem, since there's very visible steam coming from it. Stranger's very nice, social fella. Seems like he's in no worry or hurry. Uncle takes 15 minutes, looking around under the hood and under the car itself. There's nothing wrong that he could figure out. Stranger offers to let my uncle inside the car to try something, and my uncle tells him to politely decline. Says he'll go back into town because he knows the tow guy, and they'll take it to the garage to have a look. As my uncle gets back in his car, out of the corner of his eyes, he noticed the stranger's eyes are a dull shade of yellow. Nothing but yellow. Uncle floors it back to the garage, talks to the tow truck guy into going back to the spot. They find the car, but no sign of the guy. Car is completely unlocked. No license, registration, anything. Uncle had one of the local cops run the plates, and it turns out they're legit. But the guy who owned the car died back in '88. Live in Okeechobee, Florida. 7th largest body of fresh water in the United States. Fishermen used to, and still, end up pulling up large amounts of human remains, thought to be a burial ground, used by the Seminoles and other Native Americans. Hurricane of 1928. 2,500 dead after 8-foot storm surge from the lake wiped out nearby communities. All buried in a mass grave. Lots of stories of hauntings nearby. 3 years ago, a few friends and I rent a boat to go fishing on the lake. A night with calm waters. Strolling the deck, looking at the stars. Feels like I'm being watched. See movement out of the corner of my eye, over the water. Oh boy, hope it's not a gator. See a human skull, peeking out above the water. Lock eyes/eye sockets on each other. Immense set of dread sets in. Scream at my buddies to wake up while running to draw the anchor and get the fuck out of there. Hear some splashing and almost have a heart attack hoisting the anchor. Done. Rush to the helm. Full power to the engines. Friends still asleep. Get out of the area and coast around slowly while keeping an eye out so not to waste too much fuel. Morning. Friends wake up. Anon, why are we 30 miles from where we anchored? I heard this is a better fishing ground. I never told them since. I don't think they'd believe me. I've never been so scared in my life. The strangest thing is that I had to fight this weird feeling of jumping into the water. Be me, 19 years of age. My GF, now wife, and I were home at my parents' house for the weekend. It was November 10th, 2020, in Middle Tennessee. We were gonna stay up all night for the PS5 release. There were trails up the road from my parents' house that led to a clearing at the top of a hill. We decided it would be a good idea to hit the trail at around 10:30 p.m. We make it to the power lines at the top of the hill, makeout.jpg. After we're done enjoying ourselves, we made our way back home. About 100 yards from the car, we hear this noise that sounds like an elk or an owl call. No big deal, keep walking. Very suddenly, the noise becomes louder, distorts, multiplies, and is closing in on us in all directions. We don't say a word to each other. We both begin sprinting to the car. It's right on our ass. Made it to the car just in time. Dead silence. Not even crickets chirping. Start the car and go home, shitting bricks. Stay up all night speculating what it could have been. Come to the conclusion that it was a Wendigo. 3 a.m. Leave to go get PS5. On our way down the road, GF screams her head off and points to the tree line. I didn't see what it was, but I did see a shadow run into the woods and saw it disturb a lot of brush. Wife stated it looked like a human-sized raccoon running on its hind legs. Never go back into those woods again. I still to this day wonder what the hell that thing was, and whenever I bring it up to my wife, she freaks out and tells me not to speak of it. I honestly wonder what ex thinks we got chased by. Be me, last Christmas. Spent 2 weeks in psych ward after having a complete breakdown because of the death of a family member I was really close to. One night, I can't fucking sleep for the life of me, so I hang out in the comments and read some books to kill time and maybe get tired. The only people on the floor at that time of night was 2 guards. One who was to watch this one guy being kept in his room at all times. Don't know why. The other's there because that's apparently a policy of the hospital. Also awake is this one lady who constantly talks about Satan, how Satan is in the hospital and she sees him everywhere. She's chit-chatting with the guard about God and Jesus and how Jesus saved her and stuff. Look up from the book I'm reading. There's a door at the end of the hall that leads to an outdoor area for the patients during summer. See this dark silhouette of a person staring inside from the outside. Wouldn't know how someone would be out there because December. Go look out the window. Look to see what or who'd be out there. Nobody I can see. Try to shrug it off, but a religious lady pipes up and says, "Devil, he's outside." I wasn't the only one who'd seen strange shadow figures on the floor of that psych ward. A few other patients discussed among themselves that they'd also seen a shadow walk around or pass doors late at night. Used to work for a power company in Nevada desert. Be checking geothermal wells for work. Near Indian reservation, but not in east walking distance. Come up on an Indian woman pushing a stroller in the middle of the road. Honk horn, she's in the way. She quickly scrambles out of the way. Drive past, but feel bad for scaring her and wonder if she's okay in the middle of nowhere with a stroller. Stop to ask if she's okay, but neither she or the stroller are anywhere to be seen. Flat desert with low scrub. Maybe if she moved fast and laid flat on her stomach I might not see her. But there wasn't time or space to hide a stroller and baby. Kind of anticlimactic, but it spooked me at the time. Live in an area where, just outside of town, weather can change drastically faster than in town due to elevation. An about 45 Fahrenheit night drive for work ends up with a light snow in a small village at these higher elevations. Pull up, over at the local taco truck to buy a water, and ask the guy for directions for parking. Nobody ever answers window, even though I can hear radio and equipment. Look around parking lot and see a teenish guy just walking around but not acting suspicious. Decide to drive down a block. See another similar build teen standing on the corner of a residential block, looking straight up, eyes closed. Decide the weather's gonna get worse and that's a good excuse to go home. Flip a U-turn one further down, but even though it was a light snow, my vehicle doesn't mind your spin out and ends up horizontal in the middle of the road. Freak out a tiny bit, but check everything is working. Hear a light scrape, so I think I hit a branch and look out mirror. There's a man standing right to my right with all black clothes and a pale, perfectly blank mask. I hit the gas, maybe a little too hard, and burn out a tiny bit but get moving. The first kid in the parking lot is now running in his original direction, staring straight up. Drive back down into town and never work in that area at night again. During the day, I swear there's like crowds of people walking around. I have no idea what's going on. 2020. Driving at night. See a roadwork area up ahead, in an unlit area, vineyards everywhere. Very dark out. Lights on my car weren't too bright either. About 50 meters from the first safety road sign, I see slight movement. Something picks up the sign and runs off into the vines. I say run, but this thing fucking sprints it. Carrying a sign weighing, by my estimate, 30 to 40 kilograms, 80 pounds estimate, I was driving at around 60 kilometers an hour. The thing was easily approaching world record sprint speed. It was dark as I said, but all I saw was a reflective safety sign as it disappeared into the vines. Be me, very young. Parents sent twin brother and I to bed for the evening. Fuck that, we just got an Xbox. Pretend to sleep in our room and sneak out after some time. Peek into the living room to make sure all family members are there. Rangehot.png. After making sure we were clear, we snuck into our older sister's room, as that is where the sweet brick box was waiting. Leave the door slightly open and leave the lights off to enhance discretion. Upon turning the TV and Xbox on, my twin and I mumbled about the main menu as we had no idea what the fuck we were trying to do. Here comes the fun. I was sitting with my back facing the closet, and my twin brother was sitting parallel to me but facing the closet. As we're fucking around on the Xbox home dashboard, I heard what sounded like one of the metal hangers in the closet scrape the metal bar it was hanging on, as though it was being parted. For the life of me, I don't know why, but I didn't give a flying fuck. My twin brother, on the other hand, had a much different reaction. He looks past me, and up towards the closet, eyes open so wide he probably saw a ghost, lol. He gets up and tears ass out of the room without a word. This doesn't faze me, however. I continue to mess around with the Xbox, when I heard a female voice from right behind me whisper my name in a hushed but soothing fashion. Anon. I immediately turned to face the closet, where all I could see was the pitch black shape of a person, seemingly darker than the dark of the closet, stepping out towards me. I bounced and remembered nothing after that. Be me, 11 or 12 years old, live in the suburbs of LA. There's a huge mansion a couple blocks over called the Witch House. Totally vacant the whole time we lived there. Boarded up windows, chain link fence, development company sign that's been there for years. One day, we're riding bikes and seeing our Armenian guy carrying a toddler into the house. Totally asleep, but red-faced and shoeless. Think someone's bought up the house after so long. Nope, still boarded up, still fenced off. Guy comes back every few weeks with a different kid. Always asleep. Finally realize something is weird and tell our parents. Parents call the cops, who don't find signs of forced entry and say if they're squatters, it's the responsibility of the property owner to deal with them. Buddy decides he's going to go inside. We talk him out of it. This goes back and forth for another few months. He's hyping himself up, us talking him out of it. One day, he's not at school. Parents think he's abducted. Huge community response. Kind of a shit area, so they debate if it was gang related or a random kidnapping. Police don't have any trace of him, but find his fingerprints at the witch house after we tell our parents he was going there. 2 weeks pass. Find his body in a drainage ditch 10 miles away. Rule it an accidental drowning. Still haunts me 20 years later. Did a lot of therapy. I genuinely believe he saw something he shouldn't have and got killed. Be me, around 7 or 8. Me and my younger brother live with our single mom. She works obviously, so we're latchkey kids. Go home one day after school. We usually unlock the door ourselves, so not immediately sure if mom is home. Open her door to see if she's there. See this 7-foot-tall, pale woman with long black hair and a white dress. She says something. Don't remember what exactly, but I remember her calling herself Mama. Slam door and run outside. Wait out there until mom gets home. Be me again, 10 years later this time. Remember this suddenly. Chalk it up to just a weird childhood dream. Bring it up to my brother for laughs. He remembers it too.